Hi everyone, Dumpster Dolly here. So, I've been thinking, since the side cut thing is quite trendy nowadays, there might be some people that are thinking, should I get it? Should I not get it? What are the pros and cons? What does somebody who actually has like a partially shaved head think about it? Now, I don't necessarily have a side cut, I have a Mohawk. So yeah, I have dreads braided in it right now, but yeah, I pretty much just have a Mohawk. So I thought I would make an advice video, considering I haven't had a full head of hair since I was about 16. I'll tell you the pros, I'll tell you the cons, I'll tell you everything good and bad about having a partially shaved head, whether it be an undercut, a side cut, a whole cut, or a Mohawk like me. Alright, so let's start with the pros. Obviously the most obvious one, is the aesthetic appeal, meaning it looks good. A lot of people are saying, oh, I don't know if it'll look good on me. Well, the chances are it looks good on almost everyone, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. If it's something you really, really want to do, go for it, but take into consideration my pros and cons first. Another really good pro, another good plus, is that there's less hair to style, so it's more manageable. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of hair. Like, it's not thick, I just have a lot of it, so even when I have my sides shaved, I can like split it down the middle and it looks like I have pretty much a full head of hair. That's just from being Scottish, Italian, I don't even know. But when I had a full head of hair, I had a really hard time styling it because there was just so much. And when I don't have like dreads in or whatever, when I just have my hair natural, it's so much easier to style. It's easier to straighten, it's easier to brush, doesn't tangle as easily, it doesn't like, you know, go into a million knots. And even with braiding dreads in, it's less work because I have to obviously braid less dreads into my hair than I would if I had a full head. So it definitely saves a lot of time. That's a really big plus for me because when it comes to my appearance, I don't like to spend too much time on it. I think the most time I spend on my appearance is probably my makeup, and anything longer than an hour is just too ridiculous for me. Now the number one pro for me, at least, this is like a lifesaver, is that it keeps your head cool. I know that's stupid, it has nothing to do with the look of it or like the styling, but it helps in loads, I'm telling you, because as soon as I first gave myself an undercut, it was right before the summer when I was 16, or I was about to turn 17, and it was just like, once I cut my hair off, I was like, okay, it's a bit cooler, because I only cut it off with scissors, so it wasn't like bald. But then when I got my first pair of clippers and used those, I was like, wow, I can feel the wind on my scalp, but it feels so beautiful. I mentioned this before, I cannot tolerate the heat. I hate the heat. It's like my worst enemy ever. So like when it's a really hot day and you just feel the wind going through your scalp, it's just a really good feeling. And especially when you just shave it and just get out of the shower, you're like, ah. Now, that's obviously not for everyone, and most people who want a side cut or whatever just want to keep it a little bit shaggy, but even if it's not completely bald, it will definitely cool your head down a lot. And now for the cons. I have 3 cons, just like I had 3 pros. I literally couldn't think of any more, so they're pretty much evenly weighed. It's just you have to make up the decision yourself. A very, very obvious con is that you will be judged, meaning it'll be harder for you to get jobs, depending on how obvious you want it to be. And by your parents, especially if you still live with them, they might not allow you to have one. Luckily, like I said, my parents allowed me to do this to my hair, but not everyone is so lucky. So if you can easily hide it, like if you just have a little bit of a side cut and then just flop your hair over when you're, or over here, when you're with your parents or like looking for a job, then it should be fine. But if you want to go for a full-on Mohawk, it's pretty hard to hide. Even with the amount of hair that I have, you could still see kind of that I don't have all my hair there. And even just by people in society, like I know like a lot of people who watch my videos are goth already, so you're used to being judged and stared at by people in society, but for some reason when you have a bald head, it makes them stare even harder, and that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Another con is that you have less versatility in potential hairstyles, which means like essentially you won't have as many options to style your hair. Like sometimes I want to wear my hair in like Lolita-ish buns, but I can't because I don't have a full head of hair. I can still do pigtails, but it looks kind of odd. I'm mostly just restricted to flopping it over, wearing it down, or like in a ponytail or something. But that's fine with me. Like I'm not too like picky about how many hairstyles I can do, but if you like to change your hair a lot, this probably wouldn't, like, you might like it for a bit, but you probably wouldn't like it forever, just because you can't do as many hairstyles as you would with, say, a full head of hair. And the biggest con, in my opinion, is getting tired of it. or wanting to grow it out, because that is one of the most frustrating things ever, especially if you just cut it off and you decided you don't like it. That's the worst. But even if you do like it and you get tired of it after like a month or so, growing hair back is a pain in the ass. I'm surprised I even took the plunge myself, because my hair grows slower than ass. Like it's insane. I can't grow my hair at all, which is good because I would keep this bald for longer, but when I want to grow my hair long, it doesn't exactly grow like normal pace. So if you get tired of things easily, or if you want to change your hair constantly, like I said, this probably isn't for you, because it takes a lot of patience to grow your hair out. Trust me, I had a really small undercut just at the top of my head when I was like, I think 18 or 19, and I had to cut off all my hair because I wanted to grow it all out. And my hair grows so slowly that to get it to the length that it is now, like about here, it took 2.5 years. So if you're comfortable in like growing it out, like if you don't mind being completely bald if you want to grow it out, or if you feel like you want to commit to this hairstyle for a really long time, because that's what I pretty much end up doing, then go ahead, knock yourself out. But it is a commitment. This hairstyle is definitely something to think about, sleep on. Like, I don't know, I've wanted it before I first got an undercut when I was 16. I've wanted it probably for 3 or 4 months, which isn't a long enough time in my opinion to think about it, but at least I thought about it. Like, it wasn't just a rash decision. So those are my 3 pros and my 3 cons for shaving any or all parts of your head. If you have any more questions about it, please feel free to leave a comment below, or send me a message on Facebook, or tweet me, or what have you. I hope this was helpful, at least in a slight sense, and I hope you all make the right choice when it comes to your potential mohawks and stuff. See you in the next video, guys. Bye!